representatives from New York and New Jersey, they should be active there and presenting a strong case for doing something to restrain the Menhaden reduction industry. But I think that if we're really going to do anything effective, it's going to have to be on the federal level. It could be NOAA, Jane Lubchenco, head of NOAA, who with a stroke of a pen could stop the sea bass fishery in the EEZ last year, just with a stroke of the pen, based on faulty science, as they finally admitted. Another stroke of the pen could at least restrain the reduction industry in the EEZ, which would probably put omega protein out of business. In order to do that, I think we need to deal with one of the main problems is that, except for people who fish, some marine biologists, some environmentalists, no one's ever heard of Menhaden. And when I was writing this book, my colleagues would say, "Hey Bruce, what are you working on these days?" I'd say, "Menhaden." And they'd say, "Menhaden?" No, not Menhaden. There's a fish. So we need to do education. And I find when I talk to a general audience and explain the situation, people understand this is not a gray issue. This is a black and white issue. It's a very simple issue. Do we want this fish to be performing their essential functions in a marine environment, or do we want to turn them into industrial commodities and destroy our marine ecology? So I think we need to do that. I think there's some concrete ways that we can raise the issue. I was just down in March. A legislator in the Maryland House of Delegates put a bill on the table, which got a lot of publicity. It was defeated, but this is an opening shot. A bill on the table to ban in Maryland the sale of any product from the Menhaden reduction industry. Very, very carefully tailored so that it wouldn't apply to bait, but all the industrial products. Then I run into a lot of objections about, well, we can't restrict people's freedom. If people want to buy their fish oil in Menhaden, they should have that right. But that I think leads to a very interesting, viable tactic, which I'd like to suggest. And that is, how about a movement in New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, other states, to say that products that are made from Menhaden should be labeled as such. The label should indicate that Menhaden is part of that product. Why not? What's wrong with that? That would be a very damaging blow to omega protein. The fact is that they very carefully avoid putting Menhaden on the fish oil. Talking to a general public, the main problem I run into, other than ignorance, is that people say, "Well, I really need my omega-3 fish oil." Okay, fine. Look at the label. Every time I go to a drugstore or supermarket, I look at all the labels of the fish oils, and I've never seen Menhaden on that label. They sometimes, herring will sometimes be there, but that's really because Menhaden are in the herring family. That's what they're doing. So let's say, okay, let's put Menhaden on the label. Put it on the label, then we could have boycotts and so forth. But they would fight tooth and nail against that. Though that's just one suggestion. But I think whatever particular tactics or strategy, we need to stop whining about it and get into action. We need to recognize, one, there are 12 million saltwater recreational anglers. That's a large number of people. There are also 12 million members of environmental organizations. And on this issue, there may be other issues where there are contradictions, but on this issue, there should be no contradiction between recreational anglers and environmentalists. I mean, even people from PETA, or people for the ethical treatment of animals, they should support efforts to stop this industry. So if you have an alliance between recreational anglers and environmental anglers that's in a tremendous critical mass. It's a political force that could exert its will on issues like this issue and other issues like it. And the other part of it is that this is an issue in which we should be, as recreational anglers, we should be in complete alliance with commercial fishermen. It was commercial fishermen that started the fight to stop the menhaden reduction industry back in 1879. Unfortunately, Omega Protein has done a lot of propaganda work with commercial fishermen to convince them, an attack on one is an attack on all. We commercial fishermen have to stick together. But the fact of the matter is that commercial fishermen are hurt by the shortage of menhaden, just as they were back in the 1870s in Maine. So on this issue, we should be able to have a very strong unity with environmentalists and with commercial fishermen. If we don't, I mean, this I have this in the form of handout that we'll make available later. I don't know if there's enough to go around, but I can always get more. This horrible red line is going to keep on going down, and we're going to see the devastation of our marine environment. We're not going to have the fishing that is so important to us and to our children and grandchildren. Okay, thank you very much for your patience.
What year was that video done in? It's obviously dated.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've been trying to find that out. The best I can look. The question was, what year was that video? I believe it was the late 1980s, because one way of dating it is that Zapata Haney had already merged, but still existed. So that was those.